Hey guys, Christina here, and today I have a look for you in a review of Story of the World Volume 4, The Modern Age. This is Victoria's Empire to the End of the USSR, and it's by Susan Weisbauer. Now, I just finished this with my children, so I had a preschooler, a child in grade 2, grade 5, grade 6, and grade 8. So I'm going to turn the camera around, give you a good look at everything, and then I'll come back here and share my thoughts and opinions on it. So this is what the book looks like. I got the second hand, and so we used it as well. It's well used, but it is quite a thick book. This is the main part of the Story of the World. So I'll show you there's different components, but this is what the book looks like. It's almost 500 pages. There's the maps, a few pictures, and a lot of writing. There are 42 chapters in here, and each one is broken into 2 parts. So we would just do one chapter each week, except for a few weeks when we didn't have other topics, we would double up on these. There is also this part here at the back, 479, which I did find helpful in just kind of putting everything in the right year that's in the book, and then it says what chapter it's in. So I did find that helpful. And then of course there's like the index. So then, this book here, this is not the way the book comes. It actually comes bound, and I opened it up and I took all the pages out and I bound it myself. I later found out that you can actually get the PDF version from the Well-Trained Mind online, and so I bought the tests and the answers as a PDF, printed them, and added them to this book. I just find that this book, kind of with the answers, the maps, and all the pages in it, is so much easier for me just to keep. And I do have a cover, because of the glare, I took that off here. This is like what I keep out. I don't have to keep so much out. So I'll show you what it looks like. So there's some information here, and then kind of how to use it. Multi-level teaching, notes for parents, some extra resources. There are coloring instructions for timeline flags and emblems. We didn't do this part. Pronunciation guide. This is key because sometimes it's really hard to pronounce some words. And then here's the photocopying and distribution policy. You can photocopy within your own family, so that is very helpful. I definitely appreciate that. So then this is what each chapter looks like. So they've got the references at the top. They have review questions, except for I believe it's the last 4 chapters, I want to say, maybe 3, don't have review questions. Complete the outline, which I'll show you in a minute. Review questions for the second part of it. And then again, the outline, additional history, corresponding literature, map work, and project ideas. So this is designed to be very much a pick and choose depending on your children's age, their interest, how much you want to do. Some people, there's actually the CD as well of this book, which we got from our local library, and so sometimes if I had it, we'd listen to it, other times I'd read it. That's all they do, is just listen to this. Sometimes families do all of this, sometimes they just do some of it. But this gives you an idea of how it's set up. Just like this. And I really do appreciate the corresponding literature and additional history readings, because they are really helpful. You can see like some of them have quite a few suggestions. So that's what this book looks like. Again, it's not sold exactly like this. This is how I put it together, but that's what it looked like. So my preschooler just listened. My child in grade 2, I had her do a lap book. This is a lap book. There's one for each year of Story of the World that a parent put together and is available for free online. So I'll make sure I link it in the description box down below. And what it is there's a little like fold out or cut out for each chapter. You see, sometimes I wrote, sometimes she wrote. They're different sizes, different shapes, different things they need to do. This one's like a little tab book. Some are color, some are black and white. And one thing I learned from doing this last year is it's definitely a better idea to do one down, one up, because last year we had this big bulge in the middle because we put everything in the middle. This year it's much smaller, so we can keep this and hang on to it. And this is just a plain exercise book that I put it in. But there's like all different types, different designs. So that kind of gives you an idea of that. So she did this, excuse me, and then she also did the maps. You can see she drew a lot on them as well. So she just had this little booklet of maps. I did 2 per page and double-sided, so there's 4 on each page in order to save paper. That's what hers looked like. And then my 2 middle boys, so grades 5 and 6, I think, yeah, they had the maps and then they had the quizzes as well. And again, I printed them like 4 to a page type thing, so 2 on each side just to save paper. And they did the tests. They were always allowed to use the book, so I prefer that they look up something than they guess, and so they looked those up. And then my 13-year-old, who's just finishing up, what grade? Grade 8. He had the maps and the tests, but I also had him do the outlines that are included in this one. This is the only volume that I've seen them included. So you're learning to kind of condense down to note form what is in each chapter. So I had him do these ones as well. And then, yeah, the maps. So that's kind of how we set it up in our family. Now, along with those books that I just showed you, we also did 39 read-alouds to go along with this and 9 audiobooks. So 48 stories to go along with this. It was very ambitious, but we managed to do it. I'm not going to go through all of those here, but I will put a list down below of all those read-alouds and audiobooks that we did. And I'll also link up top what we've been reading each month. So if you want to start in September, no, I think we started in August, maybe August, then every month you can see, kind of follow along with the book and see which books we read to go along when. We also did a lot of independent reads for my older children primarily. So I'm not going to share those because, again, so many. But we did use a lot of the who was, what is, what was, where is books as some of those independent readers. So I like the story of the world. I really like how many options and choices there are. You can really pick and choose for your family, choose for the ages of your children. Like I said, this is the 4th volume, so we've used all 4 volumes now, and I do like it. The book, the one thing I kind of have with this one is it's not very modern. It's modern history. Let me see what year it goes up to. I want to say the 80s. 1994. And then there's just this little afterward part about September 11th. And I know that this one is due to be updated. Perhaps it might have just come out. But I also know that the authors have said that they don't want it like all the way up to today, because history is still being written, right? There's still varying viewpoints and things are still happening. So that's one of the reasons I did use a lot of the who was, what were books in order to kind of just buff up that kind of 1994 to as close to now as I could. So that's definitely a downside, is I feel like it could be updated at least to 2000, 2005 maybe, 2010. That was one of the downsides, but overall I do like it. Like I said, sometimes we listen to it, sometimes we read it, and it works well for our family. I'm trying to think what else we added in this year. We added in some documentaries about the World War. We watched one about Chernobyl. Just things we found like on Amazon or through our library. But basically it was a lot of the read-alouds, a lot of bringing that history that we don't know that much about kind of to life and to add into it. I hope that makes sense. I feel like this is a little kind of scattered, but this is how we did it. Like I said, usually 1 chapter a week, sometimes 2. And we did it in a year and it worked. And yeah. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section down below and I'll try and answer them for you. I know the other reviews I've done, I'll link them up top as well. Story of the World 1, 2, and 3. I've added like art projects in the past. I've added games in, so you can get some other ideas there. But this is it for volume 4. So I hope this finds you having a great day. Take care.